Is anybody a little bit frazzled this morning, or been a little bit rushed, or a little bit off pace? Yes? No? A few yeses? I just want to start with a little bit of a breathing technique. So could all you guys stand up for me, please? Drop your pens down. So I just want you to partner up and just face one person. One person's going to breathe first. So I just want you to take a deep breath in, and I want you to watch their shoulders. So take a deep breath in, watch their shoulders, and then swap it over. Deep breath in, watch their shoulders. Same time? You can do it at the same time if you want. Okay, so whose shoulders went up? Yeah? That means all your air is sitting in your chest, so you're not actually filling up your diaphragm. So what I want you to do is hold your hand on your belly. Now take a deep breath in, but your belly goes out. Might be hard for some of you guys to actually get the diaphragm to work. If anyone's ever done any singing or big lifting stuff, you would have worked a bit of diaphragm, but your shoulders will stay the same. You won't breathe through your neck. You won't be tense. Everything comes out of the belly. If we had more room, it's really good to lay down and do it. Singers? We've got a few professional singers here. Yeah?
It's been a while.
So there you go, there. Little tip anyway, sit back down. Next time you're training, if you notice yourself breathing like this all through the shoulders, the belly's got to go out. So today, guys, thanks to Dan for getting me in here to help you guys out with some mindset stuff. It's a real privilege to be able to come and present for you guys and, you know, hopefully give you guys some tools to get you going to the next level. I'm sure some of you guys are performing close to 100%, but I guarantee there's a lot of you guys that are probably only 50%. Not only just in the health and fitness area, but relationship-wise, finance-wise. So what we're going to go through today is a couple of different things that will help grow and really start to unlock your potential in every area of your life. So who thinks they got another level to go to? Who wants to go a little bit harder? Yeah? Excellent. That's good. If you didn't put your hand up, you're full of shit. Okay? So yes, there will be swearing today. I will drop the F-bomb occasionally.
And he isn't wearing shoes.
And I'm not wearing shoes. So
get along well.
This is how it is, yeah. So a little bit of a background for me today as well for you guys. So pretty standard upbringing, right? Like parents were together, we did tons of sports, you know, boxing, kickboxing, taekwondo, cricket, soccer, all those sorts of things. We went into our teenage years, and I had a colourful decade. We did plenty of stuff. We had a lot of things go on. We lived the exact opposite lifestyle of what we are doing now. Okay, but it put me here today for you guys. So I've had lots of life experience. Some of you guys have had more, some different, but I've been through it. We've gone through loads and loads and loads of self-development and personal development, and that allows me to be here today for you guys to be able to talk, to be able to share, to be able to educate and inspire you guys into being better, to being a better version of you, to be able to inspire other people if you guys have your own family, you know, to be a better role model. If you have a partner that you're trying to help, to do that, just to be a better training buddy in the gym, you know, little things like that. So today, what you guys will learn is that it's all up here, okay? So much of what you want to accomplish is all in the mindset. Does anybody agree or disagree with that? Agreed?
Agree.
Yeah. You could have Dan or any of the boys down here give you the best plan for training, the best plan for nutrition, and it wouldn't fucking matter if you didn't have your mindset right. You could train. Who's been really good at doing 2 weeks awesome in training and diet? Yep. 14-day kings and queens, yeah. It'd be dangerous if we backed it up with 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and it's all with the mindset. So feel free to stop me as we're going through. Like, the more interactive this is, and we're having a chat and a conversation, the more information you guys are going to retain. Like, I don't want to stand up here like a lecturer. Obviously, I don't look like one, but it doesn't have to be like that. Like, a conversation's going to be better. You guys will take more out of it. Yeah? All right. Let's see if this works. So the reality is, guys, new mindset equals a new result. Okay? If we could go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of motivational quotes, and as cliche or tacky as you may think they are, they hit the truth. Okay? And this is the reality. With a new mindset, you will get a new result. So you guys came here today. Obviously, you could have slept in, you could have trained, you could have gone and had coffee. You want to be better. Yeah? So that has to come with a new mindset. It has to develop. You have to grow. Like doing squats in the gym to develop a better ass or better legs or whatever. You need to grow and you need to train and develop the mindset. So that's a better tool in your tool belt. The success story. So here's an example, right, of someone who has had probably not the most amount of luck on her side as far as life goes. Born into poverty in the USA. I didn't have the year there, but it was back in the 50s, I think, in Mississippi. So predominantly a white population, and this was a black female, okay? Raped and pregnant at 14 years old to only lose a child in infancy. Does anyone know who it is already? Oprah fucking Winfrey. Yep. Alright, so started in radio and local TV. So she was going against the grain for what everybody was doing. She was starting to promote more emotive interviews, more emotive responses, okay? And actually getting into people's, well, emotions instead of just driving fear and all that sort of stuff, you know, getting people to interact. Does anybody not know Oprah? Alright, you should probably leave and go and get on Google if you don't. Went on to become the highest viewed TV show in America, and even her reruns still are like super high ratings. She's left a very big impact on the world. Now rated in top 10 Forbes most powerful women in the world. Pretty amazing, right? Yeah, so there she is. Super happy, curly hair, and black, and a female. Had everything going against her. Now, if we look back, if we go back to here, this is only the second time I've used this projector, and the guy said he'll have to forgive me. If you looked at these two things here, and someone told you if these two things are going to happen to you by the age of 15, do you think they're going to be successful? Not generally, hey. The only thing that made her a success is her mindset. The only thing. Because all the odds were stacked against her. Yeah? Again, I'll say she was black. She was a woman and she was in the South. Okay? She's lucky she didn't get fucking hung by a neck by the age of 20. And that's the reality, okay? She had it all against her, but her mindset. What do you think one of the major driving factors for her would have been, or values for her would have been? One word. What's one word?
Success.
Success, yep. Determination. You know, never give up, all those sorts of things. That would have been just unstoppable in her mindset, and still is today. Super successful. So what we want to highlight today is how the mindset, you don't have to be the next Oprah or Ellen or whatever it is. Do you want to be? TV show? Yeah? Alright. Yeah. Whatever works. But we go into the story you guys tell yourself every day. So this picture is about time, and it's the only thing we have in abundance, as we have so much time. Yet it is such a common excuse that people come up with. For, let's use the training as an example. Who doesn't have time to meal prep? No one. Well, it's like they're killing it, Dan. Body fat's going to be good this month. All right. There's a really cool book called The Magic of Big Thinking, or Thinking Big, and he talks about excuse-itis, and he talks about people how saying they don't have time. But how can someone in a more time-poor situation be able to create more productivity than you? Okay, so we go into some of the stories you tell yourself every day. It's too late, okay? I'm too tired. Who's come up? Put your hand up, actually, if you ever said it's too late. It's too late to train, it's too late to cook, it's too late to read. Yep. Be honest, guys. The more honest and aware you are of what's going on, the easier it is for you to make that step, to make that change. When you understand what's happening within your mindset, within your body, and your beliefs, it's really easy to jump ahead. If you're super resistant today and not open to the change, nothing will happen. No matter what I do, no matter what Dan does, or any of the boys or girls down here that are trying to help you, if you are resistant and block it, you will not change, okay? You have to be open. Too tired. Who's had a too tired excuse? Yep. Who's had a too old one? Yeah? Some yes, some no. I don't have time, again. And you have excuses, not results. On a daily basis, these are the thoughts that come into our head. Yeah? Who thinks one of these almost every day? Yeah. Honestly, I do as well. I've got 3 kids, a 4th on the way, running a gym, training myself, training clients. This one comes up for me a lot.
Yeah.
But I have to check myself saying it, that I do have time. I just have to be mindful of where I spend my energy and where I put my focus. So you can see here the picture, guys. I thought that was a really good image to sort of capture what we're trying to achieve here, is that, you know, it doesn't matter how many clocks you run off, doesn't matter how many things you're trying to do, is that if you're stuck and you keep using excuses, you will go nowhere. You won't progress. The power of your mind. Listen to the voices, okay? If you think you don't have voices in your head, you are crazy. Everybody has voices in their head. When you walk down the stairs, you might either say to yourself, I'll go straight out the door, I'm going to go through the office. Okay, that's a voice, right? When you drive out, I'm going to go left and grab a coffee, or I'm going to go right and go home. Or vice versa. We have voices in our head every single day. Some people's talk louder than others and they end up in a bin. Okay? They're crazy. That's what goes on. They just let them control them. This is the truth, guys, okay? That's what happens. But you guys all have these voices in your head. When you acknowledge that they're there and you can understand and accept what's being said, again, you are in control. If you let the voices keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, keep talking, they are in control. Who's been on autopilot before and not even known what's happening 45 minutes later and go, holy fuck, how did I end up here? Yeah? The voices control you, okay? So a good example is like throw a bone to a dog. They have no control generally over their emotions and they go to town on that bone. They don't even know what's going on, okay? So it's our ability. Why is that funny?
I was hilarious.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad that was the right analogy for you. You got it. So we need to acknowledge what's going on, okay? Because sometimes we've got good directions, sometimes we've got bad. Acknowledge them, what we just talked about. The sooner you accept that all this sort of stuff is going on, I'll say it a lot, guys, like acceptance and acknowledgement and taking things on board, all right? Instead of always pushing away and trying to get rid of stuff and ignoring things. The more you acknowledge what's happening within your body and within your mind, the more control you have, okay? When you control it, you win. Then control your mind, don't let it control you. Just one step ahead, it's like I wrote this, hey? Very good. So that allows us to be proactive and not reactive. I had a really good webinar with one of my mentors a couple of weeks ago, and we went through a few things, and I personally just snapped out of being reactive. I'd had a couple of weeks where I was just always in response or quick to go back, and I wasn't just letting myself go in the way that I wanted. Who thinks they could be more proactive instead of reactive? Everybody, cool. Okay, good. So what we're talking about's hitting the mark obviously a little bit this morning, yeah? Yep. When you control your emotions, you win. So in any situation, who's been in an argument before and lost control of their emotions, and then you lost the argument? Unless it was a fight and then you could bash them. Different story though, yeah? But generally when you lose control, you don't have the ability to obviously direct the conversation or get them to come onto your side of thinking. You know, for anybody in sales here or anyone who tries to influence other people to going their way of thinking, who's lost control of their emotions before and not got the sale or not got people to do what they wanted to do? 100%. Right? You ever wondered why? Has anybody watched the show Shark Tank at the moment? Sunday nights with the business guys? No? You see, the people that lose their shit are the ones that are always presenting and pitching. The ones that are always got their cool are the guys that are successful. Okay, they are in control of their emotions, so they're always winning. Even when we've seen a couple where if you guys don't know the basis of the show, they get people to come and pitch their business, and then there's 4 investors that they want to try and get invest in their business. So a couple of really successful people within this country in different areas. But we've seen a couple where 2 investors have gone at the business, so they've had to sort of not argue, but I guess sort of counteract each other's, balance or offer. And the guy who's always the coolest is the real estate guy, but he's just so calm, cool, collected, yeah. It makes sense. Is anybody in a sales type job? Yep. Controlling your emotions is very, very important for that. And even as far as, is anybody in a customer job, like customer service job, where they deal direct with people? Customers always right? Yeah?
They think so.
Yeah?
Yes.
100%, right? So you don't take it personal. Yeah? So you're not reacting to them, you're being proactive and you'll find a solution to the problem. Another like really simple example, we went out for dinner the other night with our VIP members at the gym. One of the girls ordered butter. They brought out all the other dressings instead of the butter. She goes, oh, can I grab the butter? The lady come back out, threw it on the table and said it wasn't on your docket. It wasn't on your receipt. Fucking shithouse way to do business, right? She took it personal. It was an error from another girl that just didn't put it through the till. And she took it personal and reacted to that. Such a tiny, tiny little thing. So I feel sorry for that girl's boyfriend because she would be flying off the handle all the time. If she reacts to something like that, you seriously got to think about what's going on, okay?
It's a flaw.
Going. Flow and effect, yeah. And it becomes a habit. So you're just used to fighting back, you're used to snapping back all the time, and it is what it is. Does anyone here have kids themselves? No? No one? Okay. Does anyone... Yeah, that was the bladder question, yeah. Does anyone want to have kids? Obviously you do, so...
I can't take it back now.
Yeah. You can't unpregnant, can you? Basically with that sort of stuff, you're talking about creating habits and the way you talk, and I've got 3 kids, one's a baby at the moment, but they are mini versions of you. When you hear how they talk, it's a direct reflection of you. So if you are in a management position at work and you're having problem with your staff all the time for how they react, that is because that's how you're teaching them generally. Okay? So it is a flow-on effect into every other area of your life, but also to other people that are influenced around you. He's going. You probably missed the best stuff already, but it's on recording, so you can check it out. Why do we have excuses? I didn't realise till I blew this up last night that that's not a very good image from him jumping off the cliff there, but he has no fear. It's a good picture until I saw that, and I thought, well, it's going to make everybody laugh and have a good time. So fear. That's why we come up with excuses, yeah? Fear. Yes. Fear of what? Fear of success. Hands up who's scared of where they might be. Yep. It's a brutally honest question, guys. You know, you don't know where it's going to be at if you've never been in that position before. So it is kind of that fear of the unknown. Yeah? It's disrupting our normality. We don't know what's going to happen, so that fear of change starts to come on. So the first block, I did a different webinar the other night about the 3 phases of change. And the first phase is fear and resistance. People are always a little bit scared, a little bit resistant to have that change. Some people welcome it and they're challenge seekers or change seekers, so they encourage change in life. But a lot of people get feared by this. Fear of success. Why do you think you fear success? For one of you guys to put your hand up, what's the fear of success mean for you?
Fear of making a mistake.
Making a mistake?
Failure.
So that'd be a failure? That'd be a fear of failure. Boom, look at that. Next one. Okay, fear of failure. That's a huge failure for me. I've got a family that I'm trying to support, leave a legacy. So if I fail, not myself, it doesn't worry about me. I'm past that sort of stuff. My ego gets stroked enough, that's fine. I don't care about that. But my family, my failure, fear of failure is if I fail them. If I don't give them the life they want, deserve, and can give them, then I fail miserably. So that's my driving factor. It doesn't cripple me or stop me. It's my motivating factor. Okay, so you can have these things in here to help drive you and give you more ambition and, you know, determination. But if it's the thing that stops you, then you have to fuck it off. You've got to get rid of it. Okay. So the fear of failure. Who's got fear of failure? Like you said, making a mistake. You know, not being good enough. Fear of rejection. This is a big one that a lot of people don't really think comes up when they're trying something new. But, you know, we'll use the gym for an example. Who was petrified coming in here for the first time?
Yeah.
Why? You don't know if people are going to like you. You don't know if you're going to fit in. You don't know if you're going to be the outsider. You know what I mean? Yep. You're going to be the newbie. You don't know what the people already like in there, if you're going to be able to connect and be able to integrate with the rest of the gym. So the rejection's massive. If we look at it from, you know, the PTs that do sales or anybody else in a sale type business or customer service, like, will the person reject you if you don't give them a good enough pitch or a good enough offer or give them a good enough service, you know? And the old term, false evidence appearing real. Do we need fear? Do you guys think we need fear?
Yeah.
Yeah? For sure. In what example would it be fear? Getting out of the comfort zone? Yeah. So do you think if someone pulled a gun to your face and said you have 4 seconds to move your head or I'm going to fucking blow it off, you need that fear response to get out of the way, right? That's a legitimate thing. It may not happen around here, but what else?
It's that fight or flight mode.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Some people freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want that. Not with a gun. Definitely not with a gun. I don't know anyone yet that can outrun a bullet. So, Superman, yeah. True. So I'm listening to an audio book. Has anyone read The Power of Now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he talks about this. There's a bit in there about fear. And the lady in the edition that I've got, she questions him and says, well, don't I need fear as a response if I put my hand over the fire? And he says, no, that's common sense. It's not fear. It's not fear that drives that. So yeah, we need it in our life, but there's also certain times where you don't have to bring that emotion up, because the fear response is also a stress response. So if you guys are in high stress jobs, you know, where those hormones are elevated for long periods of time, you sleep like shit, you don't need to keep bringing fear up to drive and motivate you, okay? All in or all out? Who has this mindset? Yeah? Fucking in, 100%, let's do it! No, I'm not going in today. High standards are a must. If you guys want to be any better than where you are right now, then you need a higher standard. Does that make sense? Yeah? High standards are a must if you want to be successful in whatever area. If we're using it for a training program as an example, if you want to get stronger, if you want to have better aesthetic looks, if you want better physique goals, then you need a higher standard. You can't say if you're at 20% that I want to get to 19%. It's not going to be much difference, okay? You need to be able to have a high standard and get yourself up there. But unreal expectations are not. So, with this mindset, might be the next point actually, that. So some people get stuck in thinking that you can only be 100% or nothing at all. But the problem is, when you go to 0%, there's no results. You get nowhere. You're better off coming in or doing it at 75%. It might only be for 3 days. Your world won't end. It won't come crumbling down. And then you get back to 100%. We have a gym in Logan. We are predominantly suburbs. We train 99% mums. And the mindset they come through is the same thing. I'm all in, I'm all out. And it's not realistic. Okay? Trying to be perfect. Like, what is perfect? Tell me what perfect is. There are so many fucking variables in our life that I don't even know what perfect looks like for anything. Okay? Unless it's been done by a computer or something like that. We as humans cannot do that. So for you to try and have that expectation on yourself is unrealistic and it's unhealthy. You need a high standard, but you can't expect to be 100, 120% all the time. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Push, push, push. Keep pushing. Yes, definitely. But just know that 75% will get you far better results than 0. Who struggled with this in the past, this concept? To be able to switch from just 100 back to 75 and then back to 85 and then back to 100 instead of being all in or all out. It's massive, right? And it goes for every area. Who's done this even before? We'll use like a relationship for an example. Who's done this with a partner and they go, right, this week Valentine's Day is probably the best example of the year. You fucking lovey-dovey, flowers, roses, and then 300 and... How many days in the year? 364 days a year, you don't give a shit. That's all in or all out, right? Mostly ladies laughing here. You get my point, right? Wouldn't it be better for a relationship, whether it be with a work colleague or a training buddy or your lover, that it's consistent all the time and you only just have highs, but your low comes back to 75%. There's always connection, there's always intimacy, there's always gifts, there's always love, there's always appreciation. Yeah? Same goes with our training and our nutrition. Oh, I found this last night. How funny is it? Can everyone see that? I had fun once, it sucked. So now we're going to get into the beliefs. Does anybody know what a belief is?
Something that you believe true in your mind.
Yep. Doesn't even have to be real. As long as you believe it's real, then you'll follow that path. Beliefs have made people do crazy shit. Yeah? Blow up buildings, walk over fire, heaps of stuff. Some of it's not even real what they believe in, but they still go for it. So beliefs, they come from your parents, okay? First and foremost, it starts very, very early, all right? Even in the womb, like, you know, the kind of emotions that you start to put forward, the interactions that you have with people, that's still energy getting sent through and it comes out, you know? As far as, how would we say that? Like an example for the gym, if you came through with parents that were not physically active, that were maybe obese or severely overweight, they would have a poor belief with health and fitness. They would also have a negative mindset towards people that looked good, looked fit. So if there was a good-looking woman walking past that maybe was wearing a crop top and a pair of booty shorts and had abs sticking out, the remark would be, oh, stuck up bitch, she doesn't know what it's like. Some of you guys might still say that. Someone walking past looking really good. A little bit of jealousy kicks in, and those beliefs need to get wiped out. But if you acknowledge that they're there, then you can start to create new ones, right? So a money example would be as well, people that have come through maybe a lower socioeconomic, upbringing, a little bit on the below average side for income earners. Their belief would be that successful people are snobs. Yeah? Again, driving past in a Ferrari or a Porsche or a Lambo or something like that, like they're really outrageous cars, but, stuck up, they don't know what it's like, they don't have to struggle. Yeah? These are beliefs, guys, and this is what happens every single day. Those are 2 examples right now, but we're talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things planted from when you're this big, potentially in the womb already. So when we get to a certain point in our life, be it mid-20s, and we start to really find out who we are, and we try and instill our own beliefs, but we don't know why we just wake up uneasy sometimes, why things just aren't going the way we want. It's because of all these years of compounding beliefs going against where we want to go. Who's doing the complete opposite to what their upbringing was? Yeah? Yeah. Who's in alignment with how their parents sort of raised them? They're sort of following the same path. Yeah? Yeah. It's not a good, it's good and bad, you know what I mean? Like if your parents raise you well and you have good beliefs, then it's totally cool. Family. So now we go from parents to extended family. In where we train, we've got a gym in Logan, so there's a high population of islanders and all that sort of stuff down there. So there's a lot of influence from outside family. So uncles, aunties, all those sort of things. Things they lay down, things they say to you for years and years and years become your beliefs. Friends. So now we're starting to come into, even, through childhood and stuff like that, but as an adult, people telling you can't do something. They keep driving that new belief that you can't do it, that you won't succeed, that it doesn't matter. Who's got a few friends like that in their circle at the moment that are a little bit on the Debbie Downer side? That's what I typed in actually, Debbie Downer. This came up. Too good. So it's very, very influential of people that we hang around to the level of success that we have. Okay? You don't see Richard Branson hanging around people on the dole. Your work colleagues. Who fucking hates their job? Careful. Who loves their job but hates the people in it? A few more hands there. Yeah, right? So, you know, we get to see it a lot. Dan would see it a lot over the years as well. People coming in, you're talking, you get to know them a little bit more. They're coming in stressed. What is it? I fucking hate my job. The people are dicks. Blah, 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 blah. Now, when you guys are trying to live a healthy fitness, like active lifestyle, and someone's bringing in cupcakes and biscuits and cookies every single day because there's always an event on, yeah, it goes against it. It makes it hard for you to stay in line with your values and do what you want to do. So again, your work colleagues and all those little things, it's only one, it doesn't matter. They just keep driving and planting those seeds time and time and time again.
The big one I think I hear a lot with my past clients is the office workers, and then because you might bring in a salad and some chicken, you're on a health kick. What's the health kick all about?
Yeah.
And, you know, that's a really, really common one. That puts people off after a while. You just get that common people thinking that you're doing some sort of crazy diet.
Yeah.
Just eating well. I'm just eating well. Sorry, you know.
Yeah.
And that's a really good one.
100%. There she goes, eating a fucking salad again.
You're the housebreaker or whatever.
Same Friday evening beers in the office, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I just had to have one because I'm just, getting it.
Yeah.
I think I've changed, that sort of stuff. So.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, when people are hating on something, it's because they're scared to lose that person. They're worried that you're going to go and be better and you're going to forget about them. Here's the thing, right? When we talk about, we've got a little bit coming up with that, your circle of influence, but you change every single day. You guys will be different from leaving this presentation, okay? You're different from the person you were yesterday. If you are not developing, then you are very, very dead and still, okay? So we change every day. The sooner people can grasp the concept that we are supposed to have people in our lives for a certain amount of time. I think there's a thing like 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 years, 50 years.
Reason, season, or lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly that sort of stuff, right? The sooner you grasp that, your relationships will be better. Because okay, cool, I'm hanging out with this person now, our values are aligned, I'm going to put the energy into these guys. And when things start to shift, then you shift. It's okay. Like, they're still going to be connected with other people. You are going to find new people to connect with. Who's worried about that? Like changing circle of influence and being alone a little bit. Alienated. Yeah? It's a real concern. Felt like you're the only one going up there then.
I was just thinking, interesting what you said about the after-work drinks. Like, so a lot of my good friends from work, a big thing is to go out drinking on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And because I've taken a few of doing quite a bit of active stuff.
Yeah.
I've sort of had to pull away from that recently.
Yep.
Well, a bit more than I was. And so it's kind of, there's that fear of like, oh, but I really love those girls, so I'm going to like now lose touch with them.
Yep.
That's not what I'm doing.
Yep. I can 100% understand where you're coming from. Like, my colourful history was pretty full on. I don't really associate with anyone that I used to. Lots of them are in prison, a few of them are dead. Like, that's the kind of lifestyle that I'm talking about. You have to make that change. If you want to be better, the longer you get stuck in that, and sometimes it's family, guys, like really, sometimes it can be your parents or your brothers or your sisters, and you just have to really dig deep, fucking plant your heels and go, this is what I want, this is a choice that I make, and moving forward, this is the results that I'm going to have. It'll take time though.
Bad, like really bad, with a friend for years, and you're just that person where you're like, it comes up every now and then.
Yep.
To your work.
Yep.
And it's like, oh my god, it feels so bad.
Yep.
Because you just feel like you're going that way and they're going that way.
Yep.
It's like, but
Yep.
it's your emotions bring it out.
It is being emotional. So then, like, you straight away bring on the sadness or the sorrow and the pity, why can't you think about the joy and the pleasure? Because there's two sides of it, right? And it's up to you to be able to control your thoughts like that. Okay, so you could think about like, fuck, I miss them, you know, what are they going to do? We have all these Friday night catch-ups. And you go, well, I'm going to be training, I'm going to be getting healthier, you know.
Seriously, and they weren't really any good for me anyway. So it's kind of like, I think it's just that like 12 years of friendships and stuff, and then it's kind of like you just have that. That's who you are. Like, you know what I mean? You're just genuinely, you would feel bad like that because.
I think.
It's you and the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. That's
We generally have humans have that fear of missing out too. You know, that person, you've probably got some really good memories of something that you did in the past, and by kicking that person out of your life, you're kind of getting rid of those memories are still there, but the chance of those memories happening again. And I think that's a really big thing. It's
it was good at the time because I was in that.
That's the way you lived, 100%.
They're not because I'm not in that life. I've changed now, so it's kind of like the memories are great. They were amazing, but that was that time when I was going through that part of my life. But now I want different things, so it's kind of like something into that.
People in your life for a certain amount of time, and it's kind of like an expiry date. And you just go back and go, oh, you know, really fun times.
You're in it for a reason, but not a
Normally those people are still doing the exact same thing they were doing 5 years ago as
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah.
like I left Melbourne 8 years ago, and everyone that I used to hang around, like we used to be part of a fairly big raving culture, but you know, they're all into ice now and GBH and stuff like that, and it's like, wow, look at that, you look like you're 40, but you're only 27, that's bizarre. Like, and the same cycle, just doing the same thing day in, day out. It's like, wow, that's sad. But,
so one thing on that note is, you can't hate them for what they're choosing to do. Okay, the heavier emotion you drive, the wedge will get bigger. Because you can still interact. There's still guys that I go and hang out with, or they come and train once every 6 months, or I flick them a text message, but it's not what it used to be. So you don't have to burn the bridge, and if you hate for what they're doing, that's their choice, right? Hey? Yeah? So it's a big one, eh? And then obviously mentors. So people you've worked for, people you've had in your life that have helped you through certain stages of life have a big impact on your belief system. Does this make sense? Yeah? And then obviously within, you create your own beliefs as well. So here we go, guys. The 5-step formula for success. A success mindset. We need to control our input. So what goes into our head? We need to control our thoughts, we need to control our actions, the results in our life, and then a new belief will be created. So this is what's going to happen. What we go through now is what's going to change everything for you if you choose to do it. Some of you won't, some of you will leave here today and go, he's full of shit, he's a dick. And that's cool. I don't care about that rejection. Doesn't worry me at all. So input, okay? What goes into our heads? So we're talking everything, guys. What you read, okay? Yeah. Who gets stuck on gossip magazines once a day? Twice a day? 4 times a day? Okay, what you listen to. Who spends a lot of time in the car? An hour? Who spends an hour a day in the car? Who hears the same songs over and over and over again?
at work.
And then at work as well, yeah? If you have the opportunity to put better input through, whether it be motivational stuff or educational audio books, why wouldn't you do that? It could be 500 hours a year potentially that you're learning and having better input and being able to change your life instead of listening to, I don't even know the radio hosts. Tom and Mardo. Are they on any?
Just on the read thing, I think we can all say that Facebook is probably the biggest magazine we all follow.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's a really good point. Does anyone have their Facebook always open and logged on? Yeah? Here's a quick little test trial for you. For the next 7 days, log off. And I guarantee you will go on so many times to log back on and you won't even know why you're getting on there. Yeah.
Part of my job is social media manager, so
Yeah, cool.
I actually run my business's page, a couple of other businesses' page, and my own page.
Yeah.
And part of a technique that I've started to do is like clear out the feed, the news feed. So anyone that I'm getting triggered by, whether it be like maybe those old friends doing
Yep.
the thing, it's really simple. There's like a little triangle
Yep.
in the right hand corner and you hide.
Yep.
You don't have to unfriend them to like do anything, but you just hide it.
Yep.
Anyone in the media that you might be following that is bringing anything up that's triggering, same thing, just hide it.
Yep.
And I've really shaped my whole news feed to be that personal development,
Yep.
that
Nutella.
style of, yeah, Nutella.
We sort of, if any of you guys have got Instagram, you get a pretty good indication of where your
Yeah.
focus is. You know, if it's like for females, if you've got dresses coming through and things like that. You know,
But
for me,
that's the
it's
same thing. Like if you're getting, like for me, I don't get motivated by seeing six packs. That just makes
Yep.
me feel like shit. So
Yep.
I don't follow those crazy people.
Yep.
That are not crazy. That's judgment. But you know, like
It's a
someone,
belief.
yeah, it's a belief.
Yeah.
But that's not my thing that
Yeah.
motivates me. So I don't
Yep.
follow anything like that. I
Yep.
follow things that make me feel good rather
Yeah.
than feel bad. So
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
recognizing
Yeah.
that.
And a lot of people struggle. That's a good point to bring up, actually. I didn't cover in this, but the two kinds of motivation that we have. So there's a towards and then away from, okay? So towards is where people can visualize and see what's going to be ahead. Who struggles to see what's ahead? Yeah, like if you're going to try and get in particular shape or trying to see what's going to happen, so then your motivation needs to be away from. So you're just pretty much running away from pain. That's your motivating factor. It's not a bad thing. It's not, one is not better than the other. Some people just struggle to visualize. So trying to use, and you know, another good point for coaches, if you're trying to get someone to always do visualization work and they just can't fucking do it, then you need to just drive a bit of a stake in the pain and get them to fire up off that and just make sure they run away from that. Same goes for you guys. If you have something that you're just so absolutely disgusted with right now, that's your motivating factor, by all means go for it. That's going to work for you. Individually, you need to know what works for you. I can give you guys these formulas and these steps and all this education, but every single one of you, seriously, every single one of you is going to respond different. Okay? But yeah, that's good, hiding stuff in the feed. Yeah.
Over time, will those motivating factors change? Like, will you go away from something for so long and then switch to actually being able to visualize and want to achieve something?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I think that ties into your goals and that sort of stuff at the time, though.
Yeah.
Like really, like if you actively set goals and set targets, then you're consciously thinking about your motivations.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's guided by your fear or running away from fear or chasing the challenge.
Yeah. You can't always like run in a straight line if you're like this either, as well. So there does come a point, you know, people don't drive in reverse down the highway. You know, you drive looking ahead. Simple, hey, I'm glad these simple things make sense to you. But yeah, it's another way to look at it. So a really good point to bring up. What you listen to. So again, the conversations that are going on at work, the people that are talking around you, what sort of noise is coming into your brain? Because again, the subconscious mind is way more powerful than our conscious mind right now. I guarantee there's probably been at least 20 times where you guys have drifted already. Now, and thought about a car, thought about Nutella, thought about this. Yeah, Nutella, it's the word, I've got it. Okay?
Everyone's going to leave here and go, really want
Nutella. Yeah. Seminar was great, I'm starving. So bringing it in, making better thoughts come in, yeah? Or better input, sorry. Why you talk to? First bit of dyslexia kicking in. Who you talk to. So the conversations you have are very, very important for the thoughts that go on for the rest of the day. Yeah? Who thinks they can change the people they talk to a little bit? Yeah? Change the topics that you talk about. Who has a friend or someone that they go see and every time they leave they're just like, fuck, I feel amazing. Every time I leave those guys I feel great. Yeah? Hang out with them more. Who has those friends where you leave and you're like, holy fucking shit, I just want to cut my wrist. The world is going to end. Yeah? Don't hang out with those guys as much. Yeah. You know, we talk about like different mindsets and that's a victim mindset. What they'll do, and you guys, a really good example through Facebook is a lot of females that will post pretty slutty pictures of themselves, right? They're going to have tits out, all that sort of stuff. And then next week it'll be, why do I always attract the bad guys? Yeah? Because they're putting it out there. And then someone will go on and attack them, so they play the victim. They go, woe is me, you know, why does this always happen to me? Someone will offer them help or guidance, and then they'll persecute them. The victim mindset triangle. It's a killer, right? You guys pay attention to it, how people talk or how people react or respond to certain things. A lot of people that have that woe is me sort of attitude will draw you in to their pity and to their bullshit, and you'll try and offer help because generally people are nice and they want to help people out, but then they'll have the attitude, oh, you think you're fucking better than me. Well, no, that's not how it's going to go down, right? So then they'll persecute you, and then that whole thing just keeps going on. They get stuck in there. Victim mindset's a killer, right? So if you notice people starting to talk like that or post like that on Facebook, oh, sick again, I guess this is 2 out of the 3, when's the next thing going to happen? If people post like that on Facebook, hide them. Yeah, get rid of that shit, right? Delete. What you talk about and cut the fat and respect yourself. If you guys don't have any self-respect and start changing any of these things, nothing's going to change in your life. You'll have the same quality of friends, you'll have the same quality conversations, you will have the same outcome in your life. If you guys want to be better, nearly every single one of you put your hand up saying you wanted to be better than where you were today. If you don't make or start slowly making any of these changes, nothing will happen. Yeah? Does the input make sense? What goes in? Yeah? Going to sleep at night instead of, who gets on Facebook before they go to bed? Before they go to sleep in bed? Sometimes. What if that subconscious feed and a couple of words that pop out is all drama and bullshit, and then your thoughts and your mindset and your dream patterns go through all this negativity and you wake up tired and exhausted and you don't know why? Because the last thing you put into your brain, not only does it mess with your adrenals, but the last thing you put into your brain could have been massive amounts of negativity and doubt and fear and all that sort of stuff.
You know what, there's an opposite to that, because I love Instagram, and every time I go to bed I'm scrolling through my Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I get such energy from it because of what I follow. I'm like, sometimes like it's a peak and it's like 11 and I'm like, or 10 and I need to go to bed, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm learning stuff, and I'm like, oh, you know what I'm into and stuff like that. And I get excited and I'm like, I'm into it. But I can wake up excited then and get inspiration on what I'm going to wear to work, because I've looked at that and I can't wait.
Yeah, so that's cool, that's good. And I have to say your accent is making everything way funnier. But that's the quality of input, right? Like you have stuff that motivate and inspires and obviously educate you. Like my goal today, the 3 goals for me was to inspire, educate and motivate.
Yeah.
And if I can cover those 3 things for you guys today, then I've done my job. Yeah? So same thing, if something goes for you and that really inspires you or motivates you, then perfect. It's good input.
Because it's what I choose to follow. So when I go, it's going to be like what I'm following. It's kind of a good thing, but yet sometimes maybe not a good thing because it's getting me high too late.
Yeah.
Wait for the morning.
Yeah, wait for the morning. So who thinks they can work on this? Who has an example of something that they're going to do? Yeah.
Like at work, there's 2 or 3 guys that would just continually bitch about everyone else.
Yeah.
And like the guys, they'll have big old wage on so-and-so's not doing their job properly. I wish someone would just pick up their game, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And every time I walk away from that conversation, I get really negative about
the
work environment. So just not gonna bring it up. Just, not sit out and have lunch with them every day.
Yeah.
Or go for a walk or something.
Yeah. And we have to talk about even like the energy in a room. You know what I mean? We could finish all cracking up laughing from another one of your statements, and someone walk in and they'd smile because the energy's there, right? You walk in, who's walked into a room and gone, oh my god, what the fuck just happened here? What's going on? Yeah? Energy, right? So again, you know, where they're drawing energy out of you and you're slowly gravitating towards that. Find better environments that create better input. Very, very simple concepts that I'm showing you guys, but super positive if you can implement them and be consistent with it. Not do it for 6 days. I've got a challenge set for you guys at the end of this anyway for 30 days, so we're going to see How many are going to talk the talk and walk the walk?
That's what I just thought.
So second are our thoughts, okay? So we have the input, which then go to our thoughts. So the internal dialogue that we speak, we talk about basically the beliefs. All right? So from our thoughts, then from our input goes into our thoughts and creates a new belief almost. The power of focus lies within your thoughts. Okay? Who's been so cluttered before they start reading something and they only get about 20 words in and drift off? Yep. Yep. You got to reread it. Yep.
You still don't get
Yep. You still miss listening to something and you drift off. What did they even say? I missed it. Yeah? So by controlling your thoughts, acknowledging the internal dialogue, then you have the power to focus in a particular area. Not letting your thoughts control you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's a bit of a like out of the mind experience, those sort of things. Like it can be a bit airy-fairy, but once you know that all these things are happening and you're aware of it, then you can control it. Like we talked about before, the dog on a bone scenario, right? No control over what's going on. You throw them a bone, they get at it, and they just shake their head. It's natural response. They don't control it. We, as human beings, can control it. So they're the little voices telling you yes or no, or to push, or to pull, or to go against, or anything like that. Oh, what happened there? Shit. Boom. Looks good. Just press the same button. There you go. These are what makes you take action or stay still. Who has been so crippled by a thought that they haven't been able to take action or pull the trigger? Yeah? Who's done skydiving or bungee jumping or anything like that? Who had to be pushed? Yeah. Crippled by the thoughts, right? You know?
Did you have to get pushed?
Nah. Oh, I was strapped. Yeah. Me and Dan went on a mentoring program last year to Perth, and the first day we were there, we got tricked into skydiving in the first 5 hours. Yeah. It was a pretty cool, like, he goes, oh, you know, everyone's there, and he goes, look, a skydiving bus is picking us up, guys. Don't think anything of it. The normal bus, it broke down. These guys are doing us a favour, so they're just taking us there. So we're like 4 or 5 hours, or maybe 3 hours into the drive, and I was sitting beside the guy, and then he just looked at his phone, quickly got up, and then went sat at the front. He's like, okay, let's start talking about business, and blah, 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 blah. Airport sign. Airport sign. I said to one of the other boys, so we're jumping out of a fucking plane today. 2 minutes, and if you haven't guessed, we're at the hangar, and we all got to jump out of a plane. Amazing experience. Has anyone done that?
Yep.
Yep. How good, eh? So good. Did any of you guys have a fear of heights before you jumped? Is it gone? Yeah.
No.
No.
I hang up glided over
Oh yeah.
Ipanema Beach.
Yeah.
And the guy kept pulling back.
Yeah.
So every time I'd just get used to the free fall, he'd go back, so I'd
Yeah.
want to vomit.
Yeah.
And then so I couldn't enjoy it. He thought he was being funny, but
Oh,
I just
yeah.
couldn't get into it. So now
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm never doing that again.
Okay. So it's the not controlling bit that you're fearful of.
Oh, I just couldn't. I couldn't get into it because
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time I'd ease into it, be like, okay, I'm not gonna die. I could pull back, so it would go like that.
So we don't want to be crippled by our thoughts.
You need to confront him and deal with
In my
this.
Portuguese, go like Latina on his ass.
Yeah, you get all gangster on him for sure. Bandana. So who thinks they need to work a little bit harder at controlling their thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah? Excellent. Actions. What an image. I love it. Your daily activity. So by our input comes our thoughts and then our actions. So what we do every day. Okay? It has to be in line with your values, otherwise you will have a huge disconnect. Does everybody understand what values are? Yep. Quick thing, like number one thing you value if you're a family man, generally is going to be family. If you're a business person, it's probably going to be health. If you're training down here, it's going to be health and fitness and wellness, okay? If you are in a massive disconnect with what your values are and how you're living your life, you will feel uneasy all the time. Okay, so as long as things are in line with your values, like if your value is health and fitness, but you're eating Maccas and not training, then there's going to be a big disconnect. Yeah? Having clarity. I've brought it up a few times because it's a big thing in people trying to take action is when there's too much going on. Who's guilty of trying to do 75 things at once and mastering none? Yeah? We don't always have to be perfect, again, not the unreal expectation of getting it 100% right, but definitely finishing stuff. Finish what you start. Who's good at finishing things? Yeah, who needs to be better? The rest of us, obviously. Okay, so having more clarity. Who would like to just have all the cobwebs and all the other bullshit sucked out of their brain and they only know what plan's going ahead? Excellent. That can happen, guys. Depending on the input, depending on the thoughts, then you can gain clarity. Yeah? Taking massive action. Okay? Again, if you've got the right plan, it's probably something I left out of that I should have put in there, but if you have the right plan, you have clarity, you understand your values, take action. Take massive fucking action. Get going. It doesn't matter if you fall over. It doesn't matter if you fail, okay? You need to be taking action to see a result. So if we look at it from a transformation perspective, if you're taking action and you've maintained for a month, you've found a result. You found your maintenance level. So it's a victory. Yeah? It wasn't a loss. It wasn't a failure. It wasn't anything else. You got a result. But you only got it because you took action. It might not have been the desired result that you had. You wanted to lose 2% or put 10 kilos on your squat, but you still got a result, and it only happens by taking action. Who needs to take more action? Who's sitting on a few projects at the moment that they haven't pulled the trigger on yet? Pull the fucking trigger. Do it. So then from our actions, obviously we get the results, and then that's what our life is, okay? A victory or a loss is still a result, like I just highlighted before. Okay, you learn from everything. There's a bit coming up on the stairs here about learning from your failures. It's not the successes always that you learn from, because you think everything's going sweet, so you don't put the attention and the thought into thinking about what's going on. It's only when things fuck up and you go, what happened, what's going on, then you start to think about it. So if you learn from everything, learn from your success, learn from your failure, learn from the in-between, you will have success all the time, right? And it is just a mindset thing, guys. I'll go back, actually. Oh, too many. It's a good picture anyway. So that one. Can you see how this chain is working? Input. And I couldn't do the diagram because I'm not that good on the computer yet, but if I could have, I would have had it in a circle like this.
There's a whiteboard there if you want to do it.
Oh, it's okay. I'll get to the last one. Oh, other way. So now we have a new empowering belief because we have developed a lifestyle or we've got a particular result. Okay? So now you know either the right or wrong way to do it. So again, we talked about the result, whether it be a maintenance thing, whether it be fat loss, whether it be weight gain, you now know. Okay? So the belief should be that you now have the plan to do whatever that was. So you now know the plan to do maintenance. You now know the plan to do fat loss. You now know the plan to gain mass. Okay, so the belief is there that it can be done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you've done it. So it's hard to believe things sometimes unless you do it. So now by actually getting a result, you've now installed that new belief that it can be done. So you can repeat it. And now you have a new belief that it can and will be done because you are closer to your goal. The cycle. Okay, so we go input into thoughts, leads to our actions, leads to our life and results, new belief, then we go straight back. Input. So that's the circle, right? I wish I'll learn how to make a circle or a square on here for the next presentation. That's my goal, yeah. That'll be my 30-day challenge. Yeah.
Watch it back in 30 days.
Yeah. I'll post it in the Facebook group.
Colours of black.
Yeah, everything changes.
So can you see how that cycle works? Can you see how every link in that chain, another idea for the picture, every link in that chain is super, super important. From the beginning, from your input, from the people that you hang around, from the thoughts that you have and controlling them, to being the action that you take, the results that you get, the new belief, bang, we go straight back. So can you see when we start to build momentum off that cycle, how we can start to change the course of what we want to achieve? Yeah? Victory dance! Oh, it's just so funny. I typed in happy dance and there was a few other ones, but I just pissed myself at that. So I enjoy laughing. You should do more of it as well. So I'm going to give you guys 5 bonus life hacks. So if you have a pen and paper, if you haven't been writing stuff down, shame on you, but now you should write these down as well, okay? So start a gratitude journal. Who does a gratitude journal? Yes? Excellent. Is it the 5-minute journal? Is that the one you're doing?
I have an app.
You have an app?
Yeah, too.
Yep, cool. The 5-minute journal is an app as well. But the gratitude journal, what we start to see is people don't have enough gratitude. Our lives are pretty fucking good, right? Yeah, we're all here, we're all living, we're all breathing, we're all clothed. Some of us drove here, some of us have shoes on our feet. Okay? Things are going okay. Alright? Some of us are about to bring a new life into the world. Pretty fucking good, right? A lot of people get stuck in not knowing that there's good things happening every single day in our life. So the basic formula for your gratitude journal, when you wake up every single morning, you will write down 3 things that you are grateful for. Super easy. So for me, they are pretty similar. Family's always in there. Through winter, it's always a blanket because I fucking hate the cold. Okay? Summer, I love the sun. I'm solar powered. Pretty sure that's why I went bald at 25. So, 3 things you're grateful for every morning. What's something you guys are grateful for now? Waking up, health. Yep. Who wakes up and their first thought is, oh my God, I'm so tired? What about if you trained your brain to be gratitude? The first thought that you have, you couldn't wait to get pen to paper and write down the things that you're grateful for. Do you think that's going to put you in a different mind frame for the rest of the day?
Yeah.
You bet. Okay? So then you want to write down 3 amazing things that you want to happen that day. So for me today it was to be able to create good content, a good environment for you guys to be able to learn in, and then hopefully change a few lives in the process, and then have a family day and doing a big leg session after this as well. So it could be anything. Absolutely anything. So then you go into a quote or a mantra, starting with the words I am. The 2 most powerful words put together on their own don't really mean anything. Put together is a big, big thing, okay? Not I will, or I want, but I am. So what you start to do is you train your brain like you're already in that position. You're already living it. Okay? So it's future pacing, things like that. I am a success. I am this and this and this and this, okay? It could be 2 words. It could be anything you want, okay? Make it powerful. Make it something that moves you. If you get stuck, if you do download the app, I tried the app for a little while and it didn't engage me enough on the phone. So I went back to writing it out pen to paper. So you need to know what works for you. If writing it out works for you, if being on the phone works for you, cool, go for the phone. But if you find yourself just like scribbling through and it doesn't motivate you in the morning or at night, you don't feel that emotion come through, it's not the right thing, okay?
Find a mirror.
Mirror?
A mirror that you look at in the bathroom.
Awesome, and then you're actually seeing you. That's good. That's a good one. Do that as well.
Get a whiteboard marker and
Yeah, yeah. Don't do it in lipstick.
Yeah. Eyeliner, short ones.
Okay, so then we go back at night. Again, so another way to eliminate Facebook, the last thing you do before you go to sleep is you fill out your journal. So you write down 3 amazing things that happened that day. Sometimes it lines up with the things you want it to happen. Sometimes there's other things that come through. Yesterday, my son got his first tooth come through. I didn't know that was going to happen. That was amazing. Now he looks like a llama with this little thing coming out. If any of you guys have me on Facebook, I posted a picture. Yeah. I posted a picture. So it can change from what's happened in the day. So you might get going, and like this morning I ended up writing down about 5 things that I wanted to happen today. I just kept going and going and going and going. Don't stop. Yeah? If you feel the need just to keep putting pen to paper, keep going. Same thing at the end of the day. You might have had 10 things happen great that day. Acknowledge everything. Right? And then just a little one-liner at the bottom, how you can be better tomorrow. Easy. So we go to sleep in a state of gratitude. We wake up in a state of gratitude. It helps drive that emotion all throughout the day, and it takes us away from that victim mindset that we talked about before, that there's not enough, the scarcity or the fear. We start to live in a state of gratitude. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah. Super, super powerful, this stuff, guys. I've been doing it now for probably 2 years, and when we go on retreats, do all those sorts of things, I take it with me. Like, I really feel, awkward if I haven't written it out at night. Even a couple of nights after a bit of a party, I'll still come home and written it out. What am I grateful for? I didn't vomit. So, gratitude journal. Who thinks that could make a difference? Who believes that will make a difference? Yes. Meditate daily. Massive, massive change. If you guys, does anyone like high-end corporate staff, high stressful occupation, anything like that? Yeah. Yep. Doesn't matter, anyway, do it. So, if you struggle to do it yourself, and this is where we talk about starting to control our thoughts. When you go into a meditative state, hey, you control everything. So if you struggle to switch your brain off, then download something through iTunes or an app and do guided meditation, where they tell you how to think, how to act, how to be, how to feel, all that sort of stuff, okay? It may only be small. You might only get 2 to 3 minutes in. For me, I started just doing it when I was going to sleep. And that was a big thing that helped me also go to sleep, and then that was the stuff that was sort of going on in the background for me. Has anyone done this sort of stuff before? Gone into it? Nah? I thought it was real airy-fairy and a bit bullshit to begin with, but it makes a difference. When you can start to declutter and de-stress and take all that bullshit out and just start to slow things down a little bit, makes a big difference, right? Very big. What were you going to say?
There's one called the White Lights Meditation.
Oh, yeah? Yep. Is that an app or on iTunes?
Just on, iTunes or YouTube.
Yeah.
What's it called?
I think it's White Light.
Yep. I've got a few different ones.
Yeah.
You can do different things as well, so it ends up being like almost hypno as well. So you can do fat loss ones or quit smoking and whatever you want. Money, financial freedom, love, relationships, all that sort of stuff. So meditation, if you don't have time for 5 minutes, then you need an hour, right? Get in the sun and ocean to reset your rhythms. Who's heard of the circadian rhythms in our body? Yep. Getting back into the ocean, getting back into the earth and reconnecting and get that electric current come back through helps reset. Who goes to the beach once every 2 months? A month? A week? Yep. I know we're city, like it's a little bit, it's a bit different, but do your best to get out in the sun. Vitamin D also a massive mood enhancer. Okay? Know your limit. Some of you are a little bit pasty in here. Your tolerance will be a little bit less than the others. Okay? So, pasty? I'm white. I've just covered in tattoos. Okay? So, know your limit.
This is a cool one, guys. Who's ever, just that trip to the beach, jump in the water, and you just
recharge.
It's just like,
Yeah.
so good.
I crave
And it's crazy, but it does actually, you do actually feel better for it. And you miss it when you're not, if you're used to going to the beach all the time.
Yeah. Even just basic mineral magnesium, like getting in the ocean and getting that back in all over your body and getting it back in makes a big difference. When you're doing these sorts of things as well, when you are really trying to just, get everything going again, the more you can disconnect from social media, from people that aren't going to help you be better, the better. Like if you're trying to go back and reset your rhythms and you're sitting on Facebook all day, it's not really going to work out, okay? It's not going to have the benefits that it could. It's going to be better, but it's not going to do what it normally would. So massive, that one, guys. If you don't have a hobby, get one. Not lifting, not dieting, not training. I'm talking about a hobby. Who has a passion that they do outside of their job or outside of exercise? What do you do?
studying nutrition.
Studying nutrition. Yep.
My passion.
Yep. Cool. Who else put their hand up then? What are you doing? Golf. Yep. Love it. Food. Yep. Food. Gardening.
Training.
Another good way to get back in the earth and reconnect and all that sort of stuff. Training. Yep. Fashion. Yep. Who doesn't have a hobby? Yeah?
We don't have one at the moment.
Yep.
I think trainers, it can be a hard one because your passion is training.
Yep.
And then you're training.
Yep.
And then obviously in certain aspects you're dieting or you're eating for a purpose, and so everything's all consuming.
Yep.
Your hobby becomes your work.
Yeah.
Your work becomes your hobby.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yep.
But then that can be your hobby, daytime. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to meditate.
Yeah. But that's it.
Nothing is your hobby like that.
Yeah. Can be anything. Yeah. So it's the difference between lifestyle and obviously a hobby.
Yeah.
So for me, my hobby or passion outside of this lifestyle is music. I love it. Love watching live bands. Yeah, a mate of mine's just asked me to go do tour managing for him as well. He's got a tour coming up and potentially overseas stuff in the next couple of years, and that is just something that will be unreal. Like something you do for free. You know what I mean? Those sort of things. So if you're struggling to find anything to get you outside of, and again, the trainer thing, when it's your lifestyle that almost gets consuming, it's trying to find something to step you out and, be different. Hang out with different people and fucking go learn a language. Get on Scoop On, see what deals there are to knit or sew or do something like that, and just go, it's the next one. Boom, skill acquisition. Okay, so learning anything. So I know Dan the last few months has gone and done Olympic lifting. So he's been acquiring a new skill, working the nervous system. We have a family day we do once a week with our kids and my partner Liz as well. Last week we got this projector, first time I used it, up on the wall, and we all learned how to juggle. We went and got a heap of balls and we learned how to juggle. Okay, skill acquisition. Again, it's developing certain skills. We had a laugh. One of my daughters cracked the shits flat out because she couldn't do it. So it's yeah. Totally gets that anger from her mother. Yeah, in the womb. Yeah, definitely. So skill acquisition, which can kind of tie into your hobby as well, right? But learning new things all the time. You guys, have anyone read stuff by Tim Ferriss, 4-Hour Workweek, Body? He talks about the 80-20 principle a lot as far as languages go and learning new things. Sometimes you only need to pick up 20% of something and you've actually learned 80% of it. Especially in languages, learn 20% of the words and you've picked up 80% of the whole vocab. Yeah? So finding something new. Again, those deal sites are really good to find different stuff to go do.
Actually learning something new with our program, I find I'm learning something new. It's not like
Don't have a
normal
choice.
training.
Yeah.
Like the unique moves and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, wow, these are cool because these are learning and testing yourself.
Yeah.
So every day I come here in my program every time I program, it's like, wow, it's new because my body is being used in a different way than normally,
Yeah, 100%.
And even doing stuff like this, I know those girls are going to like the entrepreneurship thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's massive. We get all of our clients, we offer loads of education, and it's predominantly mindset stuff and self-development and self-improvement and personal development, because that's where everything goes. That's where.
That's what you were in the end too.
Yeah, 100%. So it's. What was that? Did you put your hand up?
No.
Oh, you're off. No worries. See you later. Have fun at ballet.
Let's go.
Yes.
One life hack that I found really good was I found a book, and it was like the whole premise of it is that you do one thing every day that scares you.
Yep.
And so that's like you have to do one thing every day that's out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, cool.
And for me, that can be like a lot of it is even just really simple stuff in terms of at work, like putting myself out there to someone to inspire up or whatever.
Yep.
But I found that it is so good actually like getting you to expand your boundaries kind of thing.
Yeah.
And because I think with your comfort zone, the whole point of it is that it's comfortable, so if you don't make that concerted effort every day
Yep.
to do something, it's so easy to get stuck and never
Yep.
actually move forward. and I found that having to do something every day, it works so well because otherwise you just don't even, you end up just not doing it.
Yeah.
More confidence than you're feeling.
Yeah.
And you feel so good when you get that adrenaline. I'm gonna kill that.
Yeah.
Do any of you guys get public transport to work? Yeah. Is it a bus stop or a train station? What's the bus stop look like before the bus comes? Where's everybody's heads? Yeah.
Yeah, that's like on the bus. And
Yeah.
I make me not put my head down.
Yeah. Fucking talk to someone.
Because everyone's there on their phone.
Unplug them. Pull their earphone out.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's in your lunchbox?
They might be listening to personal development.
Yeah.
It's
That's right.
It's funny.
Yeah.
On
Talk
that,
about it.
Yeah.
if you walk around down the street, and Tenerife New Farm's really, really common for it. If you're walking around just by yourself, no one will say hello to you.
Yeah.
You know? Walk around with a dog,
Yeah.
everyone says hello to you. There's
Babies are the same.
something- Yeah. And
Yeah.
again, it's just, I don't know whether they just think you're less intimidating because you've got a dog.
Even like where you shop, you can shop at Woolworths and Coles, and it's the most anti-social way of shopping. Or you can go to farmers markets. Like how many good chats do we have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we're buying from
Yeah.
at farmers markets and stuff. You have really
Yeah.
engaging conversations.
Just a few more values aligned at a farmer's market though. Like generally you're going to find people that train, exercise, go into those places. So they're, they're a little bit more open. They're a little bit more positive and happier. And
Yeah. There's that guy that
they have to
chef
sell.
Guy, yeah. Oh yeah. That we have. You can't get away without having a half an hour chat with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favourite at the moment, it runs on Facebook and that kind of stuff. The people on the trains and they get up and
The
have a
dance.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm going to have a dance if anyone else wants to come and join me. then
Yeah.
it's cool.
And the whole train ends
and
up
then the whole
dancing.
train ends up,
Yeah.
like, there's always a circle of like people just sitting there doing their own thing. But that's the funniest thing
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it would be so much fun, like rocking up to a train station, everyone's like jamming out.
Partying.
You know, like, that would make the day. Like, that's
That was somewhere in the thinking about.
Yeah. So again, like things outside the norm, and what we've touched on probably a bit more here is just connecting with people.
Yeah.
You know, we're breeding social retards. Like we really are.
yeah.
Okay, you can whatever go on about that comment. I don't really care. But-
as well that says with no Wi-Fi here, talk to each other. You know, something
Yeah.
like that. You know, something
Yeah.
fun, it's like,
It's going to be a lost art, the conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And people are going to have to do things like this or, read loads of self-help to get them out of those things instead of just being able to go and talk to someone. Like we generally don't let iPads or iPhones in our gym when kids are there. Again, we train predominantly families. I'd rather the kids be playing around on the monkey bars and stuff like that.
The kids don't even know how to temper. They go like this.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
How the brain is actually
'Cause it's all like that.
because of technology.
yeah. Yep.
There's books written about how children think so different.
And they can't even turn the page to read the book.
That's ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they can work with the iPad better than any other one.
You see, who's got like nieces and nephews that are like that? Like
Yeah.
2-3 years old and they're just whizzing through a phone or an iPad and
They know how
But
to
they're
use it
given
better
that
than
to
you.
make them be quite sure.
Yeah,
While
that's
they're doing
right.
some babysitting.
Yeah,
It's the
100%.
worst.
That's why
Babysitting.
we pretty much have it banned, unless it's, a dangerous session where there's kettlebells going everywhere and all that sort of shit. But generally it's like kids go and play.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
We've lost that. You would have read about it a lot with your primal pattern stuff. As adults, we lose the lost art of play. Mark Staley Apple, he wrote a really good article on that. We forget to run around and crawl and do bloody lobster walks and all that sort of dumb shit that we think is stupid as an adult. But when you start doing it, you start laughing.
Yeah.
You feel better. You feel good. You do kids' classes. You feel their age again when you start running around like that. And,
Even just little things, like every night my husband and I, when we come home from work, the first thing we do is we go outside to the backyard and we just chase the dog like maniacs and
Yep.
roll around the grass with her and stuff like that. Just
Yep.
little things like that.
Yep.
We're just having a wrestle like
Yeah.
your boyfriend. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really connecting,
Yeah. Close on wrestle.
Lunch wrestle.
Yeah. Awesome. There you go. Interactive. Everybody will remember that comment. So the bonus hacks and stepping out of your comfort zone every day to do something is good. I like that. You know, does anybody have any difficulty with procrastination? Yeah? Shit.
I'm going to be battling it this afternoon. I've got to
Yeah.
decide what to do tomorrow.
If you guys want a quick book to read, it's very, very easy on that topic. It's called Eat That Frog. Eat That Frog. So the basis of it is, he talks about to-do lists and all that sort of stuff, but he says if you eat the frog first thing in the morning, then everything else is going to be easy for the rest of the day. So doing the hardest thing first. But it's good. It's about, you know, productivity and procrastination and being a Mexican instead of a Mexicant. I should have had a picture for that one. Yeah. One Direction. Your 30-day challenge, my friends, coming up, should you choose to accept. Facebook group, no excuses for 30 days. So what we're going to do, you guys are going to post your goals for the next 30 days in whatever different areas of life you want to get. Okay? So we generally, with our gym, run off the 5 F's principle. So it's our family, which is all our relationships. It's our fitness, it's our fun, it's our finances, and it's foster. So people we nurture, people we grow, people we care for. Okay? Or educate or inspire. So they're the ones that we cover. So you guys are going to get into a group. Dan's going to help out as well. And you're going to post your goals for the next 30 days. And then we're going to see how we go after today with all these new things happening. How you can do it. So the posting rules, guys, really, really basic. At the end of the day, post how you went with your training, nutrition, something that you overcame. Okay, so an obstacle that may have popped up, a procrastination thing that may have come ahead, but you had a new thought pattern and process, and you drove through it, and you got a new result. And then one thing that you're grateful for. We do this in all of our Facebook groups for our training programs. They post at the end of the day, and they post something that they're grateful for. Every single day. When we start something new, it's easy to get stuck in a mindset or feeling like we're missing out sometimes and we're not getting certain things. So if you know for 30 days your nutrition has to be spot on and you're going clean, you're not doing, you know, bloody if it fits your macros and stuff like that, then you're going to feel sometimes like you're missing out. So by getting in that gratitude mindset, you know that there's plenty in life to be excited about. Quote of the day. Look at this effect. Where is it? Oh, look at that. Consult not your fears, but your hopes and dreams. Think not about your frustrations, but about your unfulfilled potential. Concern yourself not with what you've tried and failed in, but with what is still possible for you. I can't remember who wrote it. Pretty good, eh? Of course it is. Momentum. Now's the time for you guys to get momentum. Out of every one of you right now, I want to hear one action point you are going to take today in the next 60 minutes. What are you going to do? What are you going to change?
Just procrastinating.
Okay, anything. Who's got one? Who's got something they're changing straight away in the next hour?
Reduce my fear to fail.
Yep, cool. Excellent.
Gratitude journal.
Gratitude journal.
Yeah, gratitude journal.
Gratitude journal. Logging off Facebook. Yeah. Yep. Oh, cleaning out as well. Yep. Even the log off thing is massive, hey? Yep.
Can I
What else?
Stop worrying and change my thought processes.
Yep. Yep. Taking action. Pull the trigger.
Procrastinating.
Stop procrastinating. Yeah.
I just said my baby stop, okay? It's fine, I've got time. I've got time. They don't need car seats, do they?
No. Totally fine. What else?
Write down goals.
Write down goals. Yep. Who struggles with goal setting? Yeah. Yep. Sometimes it's just trusting in the process. So if you can't really come up with a goal or you see someone that can give you a bit of a plan, it's just knowing, okay, I don't really know what's going to happen, but if I just trust in the system and the process, I'm just going to get a little bit closer, and then after 4 weeks of momentum or the ripple effect, what we've got here, you start to see things happen, and then you might be able to come up with a new goal or a bit more refined goal, if that makes sense. Everything makes sense in my head before I start to talk. What else are we doing?
Look at that meditation.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yep. There's heaps of stuff on iTunes.
Yeah.
So go through, there might be a couple of different ones. Like some people may respond well to a female talking, some people may respond well to a male talking, some people may respond well to like really, really full-on monotone and just flat as. Some people might need pitch in the voice. So if you're going on iTunes, see if you can listen to the preview on there and just see if that's something you think you're going to go to, because again, if it's a voice that pisses you off, it's not really going to calm you down too much, right? So we, part of our platinum group to start the year, they had to read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Everybody's major goal was to fix their relationship with their partner or to improve it. So that was the book that I recommended first. Some of the guys got the audio and the voice coming through just pissed them off super, super bad. So make sure you have a listen to it if you can, get the preview, and then see if it's going to work for you.
For meditation, what worked for me, I didn't listen to anything first. When I started off, I just needed that 5 minutes of peace stop.
Yep.
Everything was obviously going off in your mind. But
Yep.
I just think if you let it flow, and I
Yep.
let it flow, it just built up that, like 5 minutes and then 10 minutes.
Yep.
It took a while, like, because I'm busy mind and stuff like that, but I just think letting all that stuff and just being aware of it helped me.
Yep.
Just to let it all come out and stop, kind of stop it,
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And it is all about letting go sometimes too,
just letting it flow and be like, wow. But
Yep.
from the outside in, I was like, oh, there's so much going through here.
Yeah. Yep.
Being happy to let it go.
Yeah.
As well.
And then once
Yep.
it flows, then it gets easier because you're okay with letting the stuff flow. Then you find like it's just something that you have more control of, like what's
Yeah.
happening, and you're finding more pointless then.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah, you don't have to become dependent on audio, but it's if you struggle to start with, like if you're 3 to 5 minutes into it and you're still like work, kids, or whatever it is, just jump on the audio and get it to guide you and, breathing in, breathing out, relax your hands, relax your feet. Now let's work up the body. It just guides you through it, yeah?
There's also a couple of really good ones with thought patterns. So when I
Yep.
was just starting to become aware of my own thought patterns and beliefs, I would actually hand it over to the audio.
Yep.
And just retrain my brain into
Yep.
thinking like the thoughts I think about myself. So
Yep.
I had to, it's all on YouTube, but I had to sift through ones that worked for me and
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I resonated with. But
Yeah.
just now I can do it myself and
Yeah.
I'll check myself when I'm in that space. But
Yep.
yeah, at the start I was handing it over to
Yep.
to that audio.
Yeah, that's good. So you check yourself before you go full Latino?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, bitch, go for it.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm in control. I'm going full Latino. Yeah. I know what's going to happen. What else? Nothing. That's it. All right. Who's going to take part in the Facebook? Again, we're getting you guys to collectively get in a group. Not all of you are going to do it. That's totally fine. You don't have to be in Facebook to get results.
I'm not looking for logging on for Facebook now.
What's that?
We're like, we can't take part.
Oh.
Instagram.
Instagram. It doesn't have to be. If you guys want to, Dan might be able to get some butcher's paper or something and leave stuff up here,
I
and
know, fine.
you can update every day.
I have enough to do, it's fine.
It's whatever's going to work for you guys. Facebook's easy just to be at the end of the day, and you don't have to be here. So you get in the habit of knowing that the gratitude
Just not when
comes
you're in
through
bed. Do it before you get in
before. The last thing you do in bed. This is my excellent logo. Love it. Questions? Anything? Complaints? I don't care. Like feedback. If there's anything I can do to make it better. Why did I lose the beard? Seriously, I had a beard like out here a few weeks ago. I was halfway through a movie and just went, I'm done. And Liz came in the bathroom and I'd like done half of it. What the fuck are you doing? So I can't do it anymore. I'm over it. I'm over it. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you talked about like trying to control thoughts and things like that, and then how important thoughts are, which I totally agree with. Do you have any tips for like if you have negative thoughts, like if you've got all those like Debbie Downer thoughts, how you can have any tips for changing them into more like if that makes sense?
Yeah, totally. Sometimes I did have a slide set up for that, but I took it out because I wasn't sure if it was going to pop up. But a really easy way to do something like that is to do an add-on. So it's still a thought that comes in. So it could be like, what? Tell me an example.
Like for instance, anything like if it's gym related, oh, you're fat, or I don't know, anything, something really negative, you've got that thought, you can acknowledge that it's there and it's perhaps incorrect and unhelpful.
Yeah.
But there's only sort of, you can only kind of try and ignore the thoughts.
Yeah.
Tips for saying, turning that sort of around.
Yeah.
I think when you start doing those morning things, those thoughts slowly start to disappear.
Yeah. But an add-on is really good. So like if someone attacks the way you look or the way physically that you are, right? So the first thing would be understanding that it's their insecurities.
Oh, sorry. So I mean more for your own.
Yeah. I'm getting there. It's all part of it. Yeah. So first, like acknowledging that they've attacked you and it's out of their own insecurity. So you don't have to take it on board, right? But if the thoughts still go in there, then you do an add-on. So if it's like you're fat, you go, yeah, I am fat, but I'm training my ass off. I'm dieting really good, and I know things are going to change. So it's just an add-on. So it's still being in there. So instead of trying to fully delete, if that's hard at the start, you just do a simple add-on. So you can do that with beliefs as well, okay? It's an add-on effect. So someone might go, I'm too old. So you can go, I'm too old, but I'm working harder, smarter, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm doing now is actually going to decrease my age and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? Then eventually you'll get to a point where they just sort of don't pop up. I'm not, by any means, don't think that I'm not emotional. Like I'm Ned Flanders and Oakley Dokley all the time. Like you still need everything. You still need anger. You still need rage. You still need sadness. You need every emotion. You know, I didn't touch on it here, but like if any of you guys are on antidepressants, which we see a lot of now because doctors are so fucking quick to describe that shit without looking at the cause, and it disgusts me personally. We've had really good success bringing people off antidepressants by looking at the cause of it. The problem is, yes, you don't get depressed, but yes, you don't feel lots of other emotions. So the balance isn't there. You don't really have a homeostasis. You don't have any normality because all these certain emotions are blocked. So I'm not telling you not to feel sadness or grief or anything like that, but it's how long you choose to stay in that state for. So I choose to be in a gratitude state majority of the time, or a success-driven mindset, or happiness, or fulfillment, okay? That's another good thing, actually, a video interview that Oprah did with a lady, I can't remember, but she wrote a book on fulfillment. She said, without practicing gratitude, you will never have fulfillment.
Yeah.
You will always be searching and searching. Do any of you guys have friends like that that are always looking for the next shiny thing to buy, to go do, to go watch, and they never seem to be happy? They're not grateful. Okay? Does that make sense, the add-on thing?
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yep.
Just meditating.
Just meditating. I just had a 4-second meditation. But yeah, you know, it's still okay to feel all those things. But it's, again, you controlling and how long you choose to stay in that mindset for.
I think sometimes too, as well, as opposed to focusing on all the big horrible things in our life, because we've all got stuff going on.
Yeah, there's all this stuff.
It's rather than letting that overwhelm you, you start focusing on the really small things, like being grateful for everything, even just little insignificant things. Like I get off if I get a cream top on my milk in the morning, because that just gives me the best coffee.
Yeah.
And you know, you just focus on just all those little things, and there could be 20, there could be 30, and they're
100%.
taking you away from all those negative thoughts of all the good things going on sometimes.
Yeah. When we start the journals, we see a lot of people struggle to find things that happen in the day that are good. Just because they've trained their brain for so long, or they're on social media, or they're watching the news, and there's all this fear-driven scarcity that's the input, then it's your thoughts, and then that's all you can think about. So again, you know, it's massive to be able to appreciate the little things. You know, like I know for Australia Day, and I remember at Australia Day this year, I woke up 2 kookaburras.
Yeah.
Gratitude journal, bang, done.
Always, and actually saying it, like I'm always saying to my when I get happy.
Yeah.
You know, I love where we live. I love living in the
Yeah.
farm. I love, like, I look at photos and like, we're so lucky to have such a great group of friends. Like,
Yeah.
I love having this gym. Like, everything's perfect. Like,
Yeah.
I wake up and I'm like, my life is so perfect.
Yeah.
And you'll have the best day.
Yeah.
Really do.
And I get
Yeah.
that as well, because I come from a country that's weather, so it's so bad, and when people are like, it's free thing, and I'm like, the
Yeah.
sun, that's all blind. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just grateful for the sun you have here, getting
Yeah.
up early, starting my day, because I could never do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's really what makes me over here and appreciate what's around me.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had heaps of times the sun, where you're grateful for the
I
sun.
get up watching the sunrise, I love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing
Yeah.
watching the sun come up to your day, like you're just
Yeah.
face to face with the thing. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a good example on the sunrise thing. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he's a photographer, so he just followed the Soundwave Festival and did the photos for those guys, and he's done a lot of film clips of bands and all that sort of stuff. And we're talking about how the older you get, you start to appreciate art.
Yeah.
Like I know for myself, like I really didn't give a shit unless it was a tattoo early on. I did not care about a picture or a painting on the wall, but now I find myself, we were down the Gold Coast the other weekend and we found an art gallery and went for a walk in there and took the kids in there, and you know, you start to appreciate good imagery and good things, and the sunset was just what triggered that thought for me. But yeah.
Sorry, can I just add
Yes.
a really relevant story? The other week, it was like a Friday night, and I just finished work, and I think I finished late, and my bus wasn't coming, and it was really annoying, so I've been staying there for like half an hour. But then, like after a little while, I noticed that the sunset was actually really quite pretty, and it was a beautiful night in Brisbane. And instead of sort of focusing on the fact that my bus was late and I just wanted to get home from work, I just stood there like appreciating the sunset, and I felt like at first like that little voice was like, that's really lame, like just sit and stand here being like, oh, this is a really great moment, like this is stupid. But then I managed to turn that one around. And then I was like, who else would appreciate this? And my friend who actually has cancer, and had only been telling me like the week before that even to be able to do her own laundry now would be amazing. And I texted her and I was like, hey babe, you know, like, and you'd appreciate this moment out of anyone, and like said, you know, told her how pretty the sunset was and everything, and she totally agreed that like it's just the little things that you should appreciate when once they're taken away from you, it's only then you can really see how good they were at the time. So
has anyone holidayed in like a third world country before?
Yeah. And they're all so happy.
Yeah. It spins your head around for a bit, hey, trying to just like, right, we're in the same world and this is happening here, and you know.
And they're so happy, it's so nice then as well.
Yeah.
And they're so giving.
They're so generous.
Yeah. Because they're not run down by the next bill or, you know, stress, bullshit. I'm reading a book at the moment called Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers, and it's a stress-related book, and he references like how we worry about the bill or the bus being late or things like that. And what's a zebra worry about? Getting his fucking guts ripped out by a lion. That's a real stress, right? But we put so much heavy anxiety and stuff on our body and our mind on that sort of stuff when they're not real fears, you know, or it's not a real reason to stress. The point you bring up about the sunset is about being engaged and being present and being in that moment so many times. And, you know, like I said before, talking to you guys now, you have drifted off and gone to another place loads of times, okay? It's hard to actually, when you're talking to someone, be in that conversation. You know, when you're sitting in that chair, actually feeling the chair under each of your cheeks. You know, when you're walking up the stairs barefoot, feeling everything under every step. Being mindful, yeah.
But is that not a meditation in itself? Like just practicing being in the moment with you right now and in a conversation that might happen later on in the day?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Massive. You know, if we look at, we talked about like, you know, reference Facebook a lot, but having a conversation with someone and they're sitting across the table and flicking through their feed. And they're not engaged in Facebook, but they're not engaged with you either. So where's the conversation? From a parenting perspective, working away, dad. And they've said something and I have no idea. Being engaged, being present, like being in that moment. You may only be able to be there for 10 seconds at a time to begin with, but it will grow as long as you develop that skill and practice, you will get better at it. Does that make sense, that bit? Some people don't understand that concept of like really being in a conversation, or, you know, like music is an example for me. Like I go watch heavy music, I love it, it's super emotive. I fucking cry all the time. Watching heavy metal bands play and they're singing a song about a girl that broke their heart. Oh, I love it, yeah. But I am there, like in that moment, there is nothing else that matters. You know, if I'm putting my little boy to sleep and I'm singing him songs, That's where I am. That very moment, there is nothing else that's going on. Being engaged, being present in things you love, also being engaged and present in things that you don't always necessarily love, but just getting better at being in that moment and embracing the sunset and enjoying the visual aspect of what we have, you know, around us. Feeling the music. Music's a big one, I think. Good music, heavy music. Anything else? I could chat all day about this with you guys. Like, seems to be everyone's got good input and, you know, had a pretty good time. But, yeah, all good.
Is there any tools for, so you have your own emotions and not putting them onto other people, and also not taking on other people's emotions as almost taking offence to it?
Yeah. Who takes on other people's problems? Yep. It's just realising like that it's if you can't change it,
Out of your control.
it's out of your control. Like, it really is. I did a post about it maybe last week or the week before, and I was having a few conversations with different peoples within the gym, and so many of them were like, oh, I just saw on my Facebook thing, and they were like sad by this person on the other side of the planet, like celebrity, that something had happened. That is just fucking outrageous. That has no effect on your life at all. I know that's an extreme case, you know, what Kardashian's wearing. Oh my God, I can't believe she's doing it. And you start freaking out. But
She's blonde, oh my God!
Yeah. But it's a real thing, right? And this is where, you know, again, like on a closer scale, maybe your sister's having dramas or your brother's having dramas, and it's something that they need to take care of themselves. If you don't have the skill set to help or control the situation, then there is no point taking that energy on. There is no point to it. If you can help or change the outcome, by all means, take it on board, give good energy back, and try and change it or come up with a solution.
I always try and solve it with either. Like, that's just what I'm wearing. I mean, that's just we'll try and solve someone's problem, which is not good.
Yeah.
You know, that sometimes you're not solving.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to listen. Yeah, that's that whole men are from Mars, women from Venus thing sometimes too, where the men always try and fix everything when the lady just wants to talk. This one over silk. See, just threw it out there. Just seeing it, all right. Caught one. Yep. So, does that make sense? Like, what was the other bit you said?
Oh, putting your emotions onto other people and taking on theirs.
So putting your emotions onto someone else. It's totally fine to have that friend that you have a cry on. Do you know what I mean? You have to be able to let go of certain things and just know the boundaries or limits within particular relationships. Like, know that that person is going to be helpful if you dump that on them, or they're going to be able to handle it okay. So someone who's in a weak emotional state or has a victim mindset, probably not best to go and dump all your problems on them, because they're going to take it on board and then probably just complain and bitch and whinge and carry on. But if you've got like a strong friend who's got good values aligned with yours and you've got problems, it's okay to vent. Totally okay to vent. You have to get it out. Sometimes you might just drive in the car and scream and cry.
Better out than in.
Yeah, 100%. Way better out.
Yeah.
Josh, something someone said to me once, because I like to try and help people, is that if you are always trying to solve things for other people, you take away that chance for them to solve it themselves, which made me feel a bit better.
Yeah.
That, I don't have to try and fix everything for everyone all the time. Like, you can be there for them, but like they need to learn that.
They gotta grow. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a part of their development. So.
Yeah.
And you always end up being that go-to person with problems too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
Which I had for ages, especially when I got into this industry as well, and you'd still go back and connect and hang out, and you end up being pinned in the corner, and everyone, they'd leave, someone else would come in with their problems. So they'd leave, someone come else, and you're like, fuck, I don't want to go out anymore. Like, this is the bullshit that I have to listen to. What's the point? You know?
You also get to the point, like, dealing with lots of people, and you get to the point where you get to your limit, and you're like, I can't take any more, I just need my time with
Yep.
it's just gonna get rid of me. You want to be back
Yeah.
positive now. I don't know, come in, and I'm like, right, I'm going to go get coffee.
Yep. Yeah, need to get out. Yep. Yep. Yes.
I was just going to say on the first point that you touched on, I come from a hospitality background,
Yep.
and there was a saying that we had that obviously was implemented, And when you're running a big floor and something fucks up on someone else's table and they come to you, you're like, not my section. And so I've implemented that in my life. So when someone's trying to put stuff on me, I'm like, not my section.
Yeah.
And that's like I sort of weigh it up if I'm helpful in that situation or whether there's something I can actually do that is helpful.
Yeah.
Or again, if they can help themselves.
Yeah.
But generally it comes back to not my section.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not about not caring, it's just about having those barriers. Yeah.
And it's understanding what actual skill set you have.
Yeah.
Right? You know, you could have someone that's going through massive bouts of depression, alcoholism, drug addiction, and you want to go and have a chat and make sure things are going okay. You don't have the fucking skills to help. Like, as much as you might want to sometimes, some of you guys might, okay? But generally, like, they need to go see professionals to get help. And sometimes that's the case, is we overstep our actual level of what we can do just because we want to help, which is a good place to be at. But again, we need to understand like where our limits are and where our boundaries are and how much we can actually help someone. Was today useful? Yes. Well, I appreciate you guys coming down this morning and hanging out and having a chat, and it was pretty casual. I'm glad it was a conversation and a bit of back and forth, right? Because you guys will take more from today. You know, you can hunt me down on Facebook if you want to message me. If you want any more questions, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, we all good? Because I'll just stop the recording now.
Cool, everyone. Big thanks to Josh coming in.